Hey guys, in this tutorial we'll be taking a look at how we can make some ethereal soundscapes as well as some textural sounds with the help of samples. We'll be using these three Max for Live devices, the first one being Vector Grain, second Emit, and the third one called SAV Seb. Right, so let's jump into it. So the first one is going to be Vector Grain, and I'm just going to load that Max for Live device over here. Right, so as you can see, it looks something like this. It has a couple of menus. Right, and it has a simple ADSR over here. Cool, so now what we're going to do is, as it says, drop sample here or record audio input. Let's search for a sample. I'm going to go for trees. Cool. So let's take this guitar crunch sound and drop it here and see how it acts. So on the clip, I have just a long note, which is legato note, and it's a bar long. Right, so let's play this. So you can see that there's a ball moving around over here through which the whole sound is being emulated. Right, so the first options you see over here are the ones which are the start point and the end point of the sample. So I'm just going to take it down a bit so that we have a less working space over here. Right, so the next thing is that let's close this and put up an ADSR. So since I'm going for a textural sound, just giving it a bit of attack in the beginning and sustained model, also a bit of release. Right, so now what is this circle going over here and what is this ball doing? So what we're going to take a look at is the second menu over here now, and you can see there are arrows over here, which is a horizontal one, a vertical one, a diagonal one, and this determines the ball. So basically we are having three options over here: the scale, which determines the size of the ball, the speed, how fast it travels, and the gain, which is the overall volume. Right. Now how to control the movement of the ball is over here. With these two, vertical and horizontal place, you can make use of the whole circle. And let's control the speed. Now still it's stuck over here. Also, we can make use of these things, which are the lines, to tell what exactly is doing. So if a ball goes from right to left, right now it's on panning. You can change it to anything among these things if you wish to. Also, you can reverse the overall sample. You can already have it panned. You can have a slight gain on it. Right. Also, you can have a fade in there. Coming to the third option, which is the attractor, the flow field. So let's see how it happens. So the attractor is a spot on the overall map over here, which attracts the ball, and the ball stays around it. So the strength is how much it will attract. So let's keep it full and see. You can see the ball is somewhere around it always. As I take it down, ball starts to rotate here and there. And the same thing with flow field, which you can see like a map of where exactly the ball will go if it falls on that particular point. Right. So let's take these things off again and come to the last section, which is how much charge and the mass the ball should have. So if the ball has too much mass, you can see that it's becoming big so that it covers too much area. Now charge again is something which is predetermined. So the less the charge, the more volume you can hear. That is what I've understood. And at the edge, what the ball should do. So right now it's bouncing off the edge. Should it clip? Or should it wrap down? Let's take the velocity down. And you can see it's just stuck over there. Let's keep back the charge up and the mass also smaller. See that the ball is not rotating at all, so we must have done something wrong over here. Let's go back and check it out. Now how we can make use of these different tools to create a very random kind of a textural sound is with the help of another simple Maxwell Live device called LFO. So let's put a couple of LFOs over here and let's keep the rate really low, and I'm going to map the first one to the vertical scale. See, it's moving really slow. I can keep it fast as well. And the next one I'm going to use is the other LFO with a different shape maybe. Let's go for triangle, add a bit of jitters, and let's keep it on the horizontal. And you can see that how we are making use of this guitar pattern to create something which is really organic and pad-like. I can even normalize the whole clip. Right, let's take this off. So it's warping off the edges and it's just spawning out somewhere else. Now on click, what you want to do is either it'll create a random new ball, or you can have it frozen down. So now the sound is stuck on that. And that's vector grain. So let's keep it like this and maybe add a compressor to increase the gain and dynamics of this. Getting this overall sound. You can also add some reverb to it if you wish to. So I'm just going to go for hybrid reverb over here. Let's go for chambers and large rooms. I'm just going to go for this marble foyer. Alright, so that was vector grain. Now let's come to emit. So let's load up the plugin, EMIT. Awesome. So what this plugin does is, again, let's load the same sample on top of this. So right, so we're having this sample now, and if I start playing right now, you can see that there's a similar ball mechanism over here, but what exactly is happening is still not known. So let's normalize the clip first so that we can have full volume, and also the length in the start is over here, so let's reduce the length. Cool, so you kind of see a spectral image over here of what exactly this thing, and you can even make this bigger or smaller in size. Right, so now this is called an emitter, that's why the emit name has come. So you can see here emitter 1 is bursting out a single MIDI, a single ball right now, and if I was to pause this, right, so it's randomly generating a ball from anywhere around this box. Now burst controls how many balls do you want, so let's keep around 8 balls. Right, now spread determines how stereo enhanced it is. The rate determines how long they might live for. And how fast they'll generate. Again, sorry, my bad. The lifetime is there for the life of it. The rate is just the how fast or how slow they'll generate. So you can see. Now we also have a XY over here, which moves the overall ball, overall box around, and a width and a height parameter as well. Now in this graph, as you go down the scale, there are lower octaves, whereas higher octaves. Also we have this grains. Let's see what this does. So basically it's just creating a lot of grains from the sound, so that means that very single tiny parts of the sounds are being generated. And the force is how much force do they have, basically how much force from the starting point is applied, so that this goes to a distance or this might not go to a distance. We also have friction, which means some balls might go, some balls might not go, so it's a probability that some balls might get stuck in a friction field and they might not reach there. So it's a really fun visual plugin or a device, Max for Live, which lets you generate these textural sounds. Now this is the fun part. Bipolar over here lets you generate either side of the box. So right now you can see both the sides we can go, and the angle controls where exactly you want to shoot these balls to. Also the width can be increased so that you can shoot it almost everywhere in this field. Right, you also have a grain section which controls the width. Again, it's in the filter or the cue point, which is the resonance cut. We have a panning, a width again for the pan, and a fade in. You also have something called glide, so that the nodes glide on top of each other, or the blur section. which makes it more metallic in nature, so the grains are even more stretched, I guess. And finally a pitch. And an overall gain over here, so let's keep it around 0 only. We can compress this overall Maxwell device later. Now you also have something called emitter and wall. So at emitter you don't get anything, but at wall you can create a certain wall around this box. So you can see over here also. Let's make a small box over here. So what this box does now is it will reflect anything which comes to it, just like it's an opaque object, you can say. Let's keep it around here, so you can see that nothing is going inside, it's just reflecting out of it. Now you also have the flexibility of having an emitter 2, which is a second emitter. Now let's keep it in the highs, somewhere around there in the beginning. And yep, that's the emitter. You also have a modulation section where you can have you can make 2 LFOs or 2 envelopes to put along any of these parameters over here, but I'm going to use the LFO which I used for vector grain. Right, so again I'm just going to have like slow movement, so I'm just going to keep the rate really small. Now I'm going to map this to the emitter 1x, so that it keeps on moving, and this to the y. Now again, let's keep it subtle, so maybe around 40 to 657 is good, and this can be 40 to 72 probably. So yep. And for the emitter 2, what we can do is again map this, but this can be a bit faster. And the y-axis, so let's keep this 100 this time, and this over here 0. And now we can see that both the things are moving. One is moving quite fast and the next one is moving very subtle. Let's hear it. So this just creates a movement around the whole sound. I can even shorten the length of sample I want to play. Now let's add a compressor again. So going back to the compressor. To this again I'm going to add a hybrid reverb. This time let's take something smaller. Just going to go for plate reverb, probably modern dark plate. Let's see. I'm just going to use the convolution part. Right, so that's that, and let's play this with vector grain. Right, so that's that. Now we're going to take a look at the last one, which is SEV. Let's go back. SEV. Awesome. So we have SEV right now loaded over here. So the thing about SEV is it is a self-oscillating thing. So you don't really get to put a note over here. You can do though. But you can see that it creates sounds by itself. Now how is that happening is because of this chord function over here. So the whichever chord, whichever note over here is yellow is going to play. So we know that this sample which we are using is, let's check it out again. It's D major 7th, right? So that's D major. So we have the D note selected over here. Now let's go for major. Awesome. I guess these two notes will be enough for right now. Now how we can make use of this tool is, I'm just going to mute the next other two, is with the help of this XY range in the first one. So it's going to generate some random notes. As we go Y, the volume increases, and X will have the octaves basically. So again, taking LFO, awesome. So going to make a weird shape now. Let's keep this on random, and let's put X center on random. I'm just going to take everything down. Right, and the next one I'm just going to keep on a slow sine again, put it on Y. Let's keep this 80%. Okay, let's keep this back on. Let's keep this on something else. Alright, I'm just going to map this again. Something seemed to be wrong. So the X center is not moving. I'm not sure why. Cool. To just show you for now, I'll just keep this much, and let's see what the next one is. So the next one is going to be the envelope. So the X is the attack in this case, and the Y is release. Some really nice sounds. Now over here, the X is going to be the echo. So you can see there's a delay behind it, and Y is going to be detune. Which also adds a bit of chorus to it. Now again, over here, X is the probability. This happening, and Y is the volume, and that's about it. So it's just a basic and simple tool to create these kind of lush soundscapes with arpeggiated patterns going on. Let's play this with our vector grain and emit. can just group these three things and let's try to put a glue compressor on top of this and see how it sounds. This is a bit too loud, I assume. And finally, don't forget that this all was made with the help of this sample. So you can add that back along with the whole project which you're working on and see the results, what exactly we have made and how it actually sounded like. Alright, so that's about it for today's tutorial, and thank you so much.